So, as of the 27th of March 2023, the eShop is now closed. With that goes all the content and availability of games on the Wii U and DS market. However, that doesn't mean that you can't still get access to these games now. This video will primarily be focused on the DS market. However, much in this video can be applied to the Wii U as well, if any of you are still playing it. I'm sure there is. Well, first of all, of course, games are still available, but these will be cartridge games. The market on the eShop varies from cartridge games, and some games aren't available in physical copy at all. Take Pokemon Red and Blue for example. Not available in physical copy for your DS, but available in the eShop as a downloadable content. This video will help address all the ways you can get your hands on games you possibly missed out on or want to secure for future play. First of all, any games you've previously purchased will still be available in the eShop, so no worries there, even if they've been uninstalled. So it's always worth a check to see what content you previously had bought or deleted and consider re-downloading it. Now, with the obvious stuff out of the way, another possibility is buying SD cards or DS Wii U consoles with already pre-installed content. This is the priciest option out of the list, but still a viable method. If you're perhaps watching this years after the eShop is closed and never got a chance to play the games, then this may be one of the only reasons to get your hands on the games and a console to play it on. There is surprisingly still a market out there of people wanting to buy Nintendo consoles such as the DS and Wii U, so finding someone that has a console with already downloaded content is becoming more widely available. This is, like I said, however, a more expensive method, but there are a lot of options out there, especially for special edition DSs that have some pre-existing games downloaded on them and that come with SD cards with bulk games inserted. You'll most likely want to go to eBay for something like this, or perhaps some second-hand dealerships. They'll have plenty of options for you, and even friends who might look at selling their old consoles that have some games on them already are all viable options. Now, the next option is more affordable and certainly looks the most likely. The Nintendo Switch Online service and expansion pack is becoming very prominent, restoring old games and providing these games to the more modern tech of the Nintendo Switch. What we are seeing now is many old Nintendo and gaming classics being added to the Switch's roster of games as part of a subscription service. This is all available through Nintendo Switch Online, and members can enjoy access to old NES and Super NES games. Furthermore, Expansion Pass members can even get greater selection to the Nintendo 64 games such as Super Mario 64, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and as of this April 12, 2023, the original Pokemon Stadium will be available to play as well. In my opinion, come a few months or years, many more games available via the eShop or old consoles will start to be available on the Switch, most likely continued through this feature of subscription. I feel like this fits well with what Nintendo would like to do anyway with preserving old content, by charging a small fee for it. Given time, I believe games like Pokemon Red, Blue, as previously mentioned as DS exclusive titles to the eShop, will start to become available. However, technology limitations because of translating DS screens to Switch might be a problem, but this most likely won't pose a major problem to Nintendo as a company. Now, next up is by doing some third-party installing. Now, you know what I mean by this one, but perhaps bending the rules and installing some content onto your DS via bulk SD cards or installers available on the internet is the way to go if you're desperate. There are many methods out there, with some tutorials I'm sure being able to guide you through it. However, like is the case with a lot of these third-party installers, they can sometimes do more damage than is worth. In a way, carrying on from my last point, an easy way of installing eShop content onto your DS is through FBI Installer and the giant library of games preserved on hshop.orista. I myself have used this method to install content onto my DS and have found this to be the most efficient. Whilst yes, there is a possibility of this content being transferred to the Switch or Nintendo consoles in the near future, I much prefer to have it on my own DS and to play it on the console it was intended for. This method is viable right now and completely legit, but it does take a while to set up. A word of warning, using FBI Installer does require you to jailbreak your device, so it might put some people off. However, the process of doing so is manageable and readily available, but it just takes some time to do so. If you aren't put off by jailbreaking your device, I'd recommend this method, and hshop.orista gives access to a wide library of games available for the DS specifically that were previously available in the eShop. You can download games like Mario, Monster Hunter, Zelda, Pokemon, all by a series of QR codes. In a later video following this one, I will hopefully address this and provide a tutorial as to how you can do it on your own, and a method to do so, and basically how you can just download the content through the FBI installer, as there are quite a few steps to it, so keep an eye out for that video coming. Anyways, that sums up the main ways that you can still have access to eShop content. Don't see the eShop closing as content lost forever, as there are plenty of access to preserved content if you miss the chance to get any before the eShop's closure. I hope I helped some of you out and that you have a better idea of what might be available for these games in the future. As I said, keep an eye out for a follow-up video, but other than that, thanks for watching guys, and keep safe everyone.